Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Up for Debate, the first one, 2017. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by our very own New Year baby. It is Mr. Matt Mariani.
How are we doing, Mr. Sean? Mr. 2017?
Mr. 20, that's right. Great, doing great. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. We had a little mini holiday hiatus, and we're back to deliver more thrilling content to the fans out there. And Matt, I think this is an interesting tradition we do. Actually, I think we've only done it one other time, but that's okay. It is our annual year in review episode.
Hey, it's 2 years. That's a tradition, right?
I
think it becomes a tradition after you do it more than once.
Congratulations to us.
We've done it.
Actually,
All
I do
right.
need to look up. I actually think our first ever episode was around this time of year, so we may actually be on our actual... Our first episode ever was January 27th, 2015. So we're very
Wow.
close to our 2-year anniversary, Matt.
Well, we'll have to do something special.
We will. I'll bake a cake or something, but you can't have any because you're on the computer. Yeah, so I thought, this is always a fun opportunity for us to look back at all the... We talked about so many diverse topics this year, and a lot of things happened, and to reflect on what worked, what didn't work, what we liked, what we can look forward to next year. Of course, I want to remind everybody listening that if you're listening to this episode but didn't listen to any of the episodes we're going to talk about, good news, they're all on the internet. So you can go to our website, upfordebate.tv, and click the archives button, and every episode ever will be there. You can also go to soundcloud.com/upfordebate and get every audio episode as well from the archives.
So if for whatever reason, your friends dared you to sit and listen to every single episode of our show, and by the way, I feel your pain. That's where you can get every single episode of our show and listen to it, and hopefully, win that bar bet or fulfill that dare,
or just get better friends.
Yeah. You probably, if you're listening to this because of a dare, you probably do need better friends. So
for sure,
there you go.
Well, Matt, on our last year in review episode, we actually had a big announcement. Do you remember that big announcement? Biggest announcement in the history of the show.
Congratulations.
And I'm still pregnant. It's a problem. I need to talk to somebody about that. No, we changed the name of the show. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
We used to be the Goldilocks Zone.
Yeah.
And
I wish I had my mug. Damn it.
Oh, well.
Pretend this is a Goldilocks Zone mug.
But put it this way, Matt, we're not going to make any more of them. So so a year ago, we changed the name. Now Up for Debate.
Up for debate.
Up for Debate. Still sticking with it. The other big thing we did last year, too, was we spun off Dungeons & Dragons into its own show on game nights. And we've been doing that almost for a year as its own show.
Yeah. And we're still doing the same quest that we started.
It's bad. I was going to ask you, Matt, before we got on the air, and I guess we can it's our show, we can talk about it now. So if you're out there listening, we're coming upon the end of our current quest. Let's be honest here. We're
very
really
close.
We're finally
very close.
How close do you feel we are to the end of the quest, Matt?
It can't be more than 2 episodes.
Okay.
I would say I would be very surprised if we went more than 2 more episodes. I think we could even potentially finish in the next episode.
Wow.
We're very close to the end, indeed.
Well, then that means we need to start talking about what we're going to do when we finish it. And the good news is, Matt, last night I had an inspiration for a quest.
You did?
I did.
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling
Have
good.
you been hitting the NyQuil again?
I got, yep. I was delirious from D&Ding last night, and I had some inspiration. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just need to know how soon I need to be ready. But I'm ready to step up to the plate.
The answer is very, very soon.
Okay. Oh, boy. Well, then I got to get my books out. So let's see. Some other things we talked about last year, Matt. You can stop me if any of these need more discussion or we want to reflect on them, because there were some good ones, some not so good ones. We talked about SNL sketches, the most valuable sketch. We did that bracket style, if you remember. Do you remember what won that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was from Saturday Night Live.
I would hope.
I think it was It was the cowbell, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh,
More,
damn, we
was it more
suck.
cowbell?
Ugh,
I think.
I hope it wasn't. That sketch
Oh,
is
is that?
so hack.
So what? Wait, you don't remember which one
I don't.
won?
I genuinely don't.
It was either more cowbell or cheeseburger.
No, I don't. I think you're so wrong. Matt. No offense.
I think those are the two.
I no. I don't even think Cheeseburger made it out of the first round.
All right. No, you know what? I think it was one of the Jeopardy sketches.
Yeah, it might have been Celebrity Jeopardy as a whole
I
lumped
want to say it
in.
was Jeopardy.
That went far.
Yeah,
I'm
Jeopardy.
gonna have to go back and listen because I genuinely don't remember. It could have been none of.
Cowbell definitely made it to the top four.
It did. You're right, but I feel like I would have never let that
Yeah.
win because I don't really like that sketch. I think it's cheap and it's
That's
only
right. Yes, I think it made. I think it actually made the final two,
and lost.
and you like dramatically fought against
I
having
did,
it
Matt. It's only funny because all the actors start laughing. If it wasn't for that, you
because
would
it's
never
oh,
remember
it's funny
it.
because it's just funny because because Will Ferrell makes it funny.
Yeah, look, it's not terrible, but it's not the best ever. I mean, come on,
It's
jeez,
hysterical.
not even close.
What a classic.
And we did our Super Bowl prop bets. You remember? Do you want to do that again
Yep.
this year?
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully this year we actually, get one of them right. That would be nice.
Oh,
Or even
my
come
goodness.
close to getting one right. What an interesting year for our picks. We had the Super Bowl picks that we got almost none of them correct.
Yep.
We had our political picks, which we got almost none of them correct.
We got them. We not only got them wrong, we got them like epically wrong.
Catastrophically wrong.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, this was definitely an odd year for a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
Cubs winning the World Series.
if you had to sum up 2016, it was the year that bucked expectations. Nothing
Yes.
is as it used to be.
That's for sure.
Now, Matt, we're recording this on January 5th. Okay. Wild card weekend for the NFL playoffs is this coming weekend. So the playoffs are just beginning. 12 teams are still in the running. You want to make including your New York Football Giants. Do you want to make a Super Bowl prediction right now of who you think's going to be play? You don't have to pick a winner, but at least who will be playing in this year's Superb Owl.
All right. Here's my strategy for this pick.
Yeah.
We're going to assume, for the sake of my Giants, that we live in a hypothetical world in which the Giants did not make the playoffs this year.
Okay. Whatever. Okay.
Because I'm afraid that if I make it, the Giants will go all the way and win the Super Bowl, I will instantly have jinxed it with my pick. So we're gonna just pretend like they got eliminated by the Redskins or something.
Okay.
So we're gonna say that the Super Bowl this year is going to be between the two most loathed teams in the United States of America. Of course, that would be the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots.
I'm looking for my Patriots cap. I don't have it with me. Oh, actually. Oh my God, Matt. This is my brother's. You're gonna love this more than anyone else on the face of the planet. This is why we do this on video. It is Patriots Empire with Darth Vader.
That's perfect. There
you go.
That's the best picture of Bill Belichick I've ever seen.
all it's missing is the sleeveless hoodie.
Yeah.
No, that is not a terrible pick. I'm gonna cheat and make two predictions, and one you're not gonna like. One is, and I'm gonna stand by this, that by the time the playoffs conclude, right, Eli Manning will have thrown more turnovers than touchdowns.
Wow.
That's step one.
It's a pretty hurtful pick.
He's terrible. Number two, who's gonna play in the Super Bowl? No, I think it's gonna be the New England Patriots, and I'm gonna. Because I never get these right anyway, I'm going to pick the team I don't think I've heard anyone discuss in the playoffs at all. The Atlanta Falcons.
The Falcons?
I think
Interesting.
I think like the Saints, they're just going to put up 45, 50 points on every team in the playoff, and I don't care how good you are, it's going to be hard to beat that. So I'm going to say Patriots, Falcons in the Super Bowl.
So you think it's all right, so give me a score. Give me a score by halftime. Give me a halftime score for that Super Bowl match between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons?
I would say Falcons 17, Patriots 10
At the half, all right. Falcons 17, Patriots 10.
at the half.
All right, now give me a final score.
I'm going to say 35-32 in favor of New England because I'm a Patriots fan.
Of course. All
But
right,
that
so
would
you
be
think it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game?
Oh, I think it will be. But if you look at when the Patriots played the Seahawks, that was a pretty high-scoring Super Bowl too. And the Super Bowl is historically a lower-scoring game for a number of reasons. But I just think the Atlanta Falcons, their biggest strength is that they've just got so many offensive weapons. They, like the Saints, just put up 40, 50, 60 points in a game every week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so
I think, I guess both teams have that kind of blowout offense. And Atlanta was definitely, I would say, the biggest surprise, the biggest NFL surprise of the year. I don't think anybody, well, I mean, other than the Panthers being terrible, I think that was a pretty big surprise too. But yeah, I think that's a pretty fair pick.
Honestly, I think the NFC is pretty wide open. I mean, you could tell me it'd be the Cowboys. You could tell me it'd be the Packers. You could tell me it would be the Giants. It won't be the Lions. Seattle, I'm not buying. But I think any of those other four teams I think are plausible. So,
yeah.
But I guess we'll see. Now, Matt,
you guys get to chillax with a nice bye week this week. And
that's true, and enjoy it.
We got to go freeze out there in the tundra in Green Bay. So we'll see.
It'll
see what happens there.
To see, and you know where the Super Bowl is this year, Matt.
It's right there in old Houston, Texas.
Houston town, yeah, that's
home
right.
Of Deshaun Jennings.
The NRG Stadium. Now, Matt, you may also remember in 2016 we wrote our own TV commercials.
Yes,
remember?
That was fantastic
for women's handbags.
Oh yes, and it had to do with an exploding fig or something.
Yeah, and it was like
about a fig
in a snowy mountain and at a cafe. And that was very odd.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still hoping that somebody out there will make a fan film out of our commercial.
It would be such gibberish. It would be total nonsense. But that was a fun one, and I think that was of the
total nonsense.
We did what, 3 of those creative episodes this year? Because we did.
Yeah, we did. All right, we wrote a story.
What do you mean?
We wrote a story.
No, that was last year.
The story. Oh, that was
2015. Yeah, just in 2016, we did the commercial, we did the baseball teams, and we did the board game.
Yeah, that's right. The board game. How can I forget?
I know. That was on the list of bad episodes we did this year. That was terrible. I think we made up for it for the baseball being like the best one. We really
the baseball was pretty great
with the Tacoma Grits, Gertie the Grit.
Yep. On the you know what? I think that's definitely up there for favorite episodes of mine this year. Got to check that out. Did we do the trivia contest last year?
That
was that the year before?
No, that was 2015. We didn't get to do it again in 2016. Maybe 2017.
No. Hopefully soon. Maybe early 2017.
You're jonesing for a rematch?
I want a rematch, or maybe I'll host this one.
Ooh,
who knows? That was pretty good.
Bring it on. Just 80s TV, and I'll know what the scoop is there. We'll have to come up with some fun creative challenges for 2017.
Yeah,
I think we've got some good options. Let's see. We did pizza and movie snacks. Remember we ate those chocolate-covered crickets?
That's right, and the ants.
Uh-huh. Those crickets were terrible.
That was a fun time.
Those sucked.
Nope. Yeah, there was nothing fun about that. That was pretty gross. We learned that. Well, I think that whole challenge was based on learning that. I think in Argentina, was it? They snack on ants, like it's a popular movie theater snack.
Why?
Only in Argentina.
Why? I mean, I know in America we have an overabundance of corn, so we eat it at the movie theater, but just because you have an overabundance of ants,
maybe they have an overabundance.
That's not okay. That is not okay.
Snack on. Um, we talked more in depth about the status of modern movie theaters and
We
how what
did.
they need to do to change to adapt to a new culture that is getting all their movies kind of hand fed to them, and the living room is basically the new movie theater.
So, Matt, let me ask you then, along that thought. In 2016, would you say you went to the theater more or less than you did in past years? Like, how was 2016 as a movie theater year for you?
I think I went way less than in past years. I can't remember a year that I went more infrequently to the movies.
Wow.
I think I only really saw toward the end of 2016. I went to go see, I saw Arrival. I really wanted to see Doctor Who. I never made it out, but I did see Fantastic Beasts. And I saw. Oh, and I really wanted to go see. What was that movie where Jennifer Lawrence floats around in the spaceship?
X-Men Apocalypse.
Contact?
No,
No,
Passengers. Passengers.
Passengers.
Which I
Damn,
heard
I knew
was
it was like that
terrible,
one
by the
word.
way.
Never. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard bad things about. Oh, and Rogue One, of course. Went
sure.
to go see Rogue One.
So
Um,
you went a few times.
yeah, here and there. I mean, but this is all like at the end of the year. This is all like the last quarter of the year,
Sure.
which is odd because I really didn't go over the summer at all. I don't think I saw
Well,
nothing really comes to
there
mind
weren't a
over the
lot of good
summer.
movies.
No.
The only movie I
Um,
saw over the summer was Civil War.
yeah, which is on Netflix now, by the way.
I've already rewatched it. It's a great film. I
Well,
still really enjoy
yeah.
that. That airport fight scene has to be one of my favorite chunks of movie I've seen in quite a long time. Very well done.
Yeah. Um, we had a couple of movies out in the beginning of the year. Can't really remember the
Yeah,
beginning of last year.
Batman v Superman I know was kind of the kickoff to summer. Before that, you're right. I mean, January, February, March are always really slow when it comes to movies.
Yeah, that was an interesting year for movies,
And of
for
course,
sure.
speaking of movies, of course, this was the first year we did our movie league.
That's right.
We did the summer movie league, and now we're in smack in the middle of the winter movie league. Which actually, let me pull up the sheet, and we can do an. We haven't done an update on here in quite a while, but we can talk about the summer league, Matt, which I thought was a rousing success.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Our most watched episode, in fact.
Yep,
I
and
don't know that for a true
it might
fact.
be.
I don't.
We'll just go with that. I mean, I'm not going to challenge
I'm
it.
just making a guess.
Um, yeah, the summer movie league, of course. Which Matt, can you remind me because I keep forgetting who won?
I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name. He was
Well,
some like
some
odd man
asshole,
out kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be me. I won with a $1.1 billion, led mostly by The Jungle Book and Finding Dory. Matt, you came in fourth out of five. Sorry. Um,
Thanks.
but
Thanks.
that leads us into the winter movie draft, which is very
Yeah. Let's
exciting
talk
for
about
you.
that.
Uh,
Let's talk about how I'm kicking everyone's ass in
So
that.
let's give an update here for everyone at home. Of course, you can follow along all winter long at upfordebate.tv/movies. But as of right now, in sixth place, Dan Miller with a pretty depressing $18 million. He's gonna. Oh, we'll talk about him in a second.
That's
Um,
just pathetic.
in fifth place, Mike with 150 million. In fourth place, Sarah with 332 million. In third place, Colby with 348 million. And Matt, you're in second place
What the?
with
Get out.
495 million because in first place, none other than our
Get out.
own Dr. Phil,
Dr. Phil.
with 540 million dollars, led primarily
What a load of crap.
by Rogue One, which is now the highest grossing movie of the winter so far. No, that's not
Well,
true.
you know what?
No, is that true?
I still got the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, Matt, put it this way. So you had Doctor Strange, which did 230, and you had Fantastic Beasts that did 226. So together, that's about 500. Rogue One alone did 447. So
Yeah. Hear that, Phil? Your days at first place are numbered.
Yeah. I mean, it's well, all you have left is Lego Batman, and he has the founder, so it'll be tight.
Yeah.
But we also had some movies that were just horrific bombs. Of course, Bad Santa 2, 17 million. My favorite so far is Patriots Day. Remember that? Which was the Marky Mark marathon, Boston Marathon bombing
Yep.
movie, which Dan got as a replacement for,
With Mac.
yeah, for Dark Tower. That grossed $713,000.
Really?
Yes. Yep. And you know how and you know how much Dan technically paid for it, though he was paying for Dark Tower? He paid $26 for that.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's pretty bad.
Yikes.
Yep.
I feel like that movie was in, and I think we talked about this, wasn't it, like in limited release?
It
I don't think it
it
was
was, but you know what?
nationwide.
I don't feel bad for Dan because I gave him a list of like 5 movies to choose from, and he
He chose
chose
that
it.
one.
So,
Yeah.
and actually, we actually ended up having 2 replacements because Manchester by the Sea replaced Kidnap for Sarah, and that made her 30 million. And Dan, I think that was one of his choices. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Manchester by the Sea was. I heard very good things about it.
And actually, our best value of the league so far is actually Colby, who paid only $17, but Sing brought in 187 million. So that's going to be like Secret Life of Pets was for you last summer. I think it's going to be a big piece for his portfolio.
Yeah,
So I think that'll be exciting. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. UpForDebate.tv/movies all winter long. The last movie, which is Logan, that comes out on March 3rd, and we will be ending the league on March 31st.
indeed.
So that'll be fun. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Oh, one of my favorite episodes we did all year, suggested by fan Dan Miller, which was, remember when we uninvented things?
We uninvented things.
Do you remember that? Where
Oh yeah, I do
where we,
remember that.
where we did the thought
Yes.
experiment, what the world would be like if cars weren't invented with steering wheels, or
Mhm.
if blue jeans weren't invented.
Well, that was a bizarre episode. Yeah,
It was. I had fun.
that
That
was.
was fun
I
though.
think that went some. If there was one episode that we made this past year that I would most like to rewatch, high, it would probably be that episode.
We were
When we talk
redesigning
about,
cities around cars
especially
without
when we
steering
talk
wheels.
about, yeah, when we talk about redesigning the steering wheel,
That was
that
funny.
was a trip. Yeah,
Yeah, that was one of our more successful ones. I thought.
indeed.
I
I
enjoyed
thought
that.
so.
Now one of our I think maybe one of the weirdest ones we did all year was when we started an episode on folklore and mythology with Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster, and then halfway through
Yep.
we realized it was terrible and started talking about chewing gum, and it was great. And we should just talk about that the whole
Yeah.
time. Matt, you were literally, go back, people, watch it is episode number 47. Go watch the video version. Matt is literally falling asleep. He's literally dozing off as I'm talking about these things. And I'm like, Matt, this sucks. Let's just talk about anything else. Chewing gum. Let's talk about chewing gum.
Changing on the fly.
And man, we had a lot of fun with that.
And then we had a pretty in depth, and I think that really got to the spirit of our show and the spirit of our name, which is up for debate.
Yeah. Oh,
We actually had a real debate
hard
about
shell
chewing
versus soft gum. I mean, we weren't holding back.
up for debate. We had a debate.
We were. We
And
got
it
to
was
do more
great.
of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. What else did we talk about? Talked about sandwiches. The Teachers of Television, which was a fun one when we did Miss Frizzle and Mr. Wizard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, Matt. I thought it was
had a
pretty good
couple.
year. Um, yeah, that was really most of most. I mean, there's a few. I'm not going to read through all the ones we talked about, but we talked about the Olympics. Remember the Olympics that happened this year? God, everyone forgot about that pretty quick.
That's right. We talked about. I think I got a lot of pushback for suggesting that the Olympics wasn't there. Somebody suggested the Olympics be held on an island
Yes,
somewhere. Oh, you suggested
I
that.
did.
And yeah,
Olympics Island.
yep.
I stand by that. I still think that's a good idea.
I think we got a fair amount of criticism for that. That might have been our most controversial episode, proposing that they do all the Olympic Games on an island.
A permanent island.
Hmm.
I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry the fans disagreed.
No. Our breakfast episode wasn't this year, was it?
No, that was last
I
year.
think that was 2015.
Remembering all our old episodes. Did we not do as good this year?
Yeah, I'm remembering everything from 2015.
Oh, remember we did the episode about all the official things of the United States? That was a fun one.
Yep, that was fun. I'm sure there's still tons out there. We could probably do another episode about that.
Oh, God, yeah.
We talked about mystery books, mystery novels.
We did, and we gave a lot of shit to Dan Brown, which was awesome. And I'm always happy to do that. Name the time and the place. We did this or that twice.
This or that.
Yep, we talked about both spring and Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
As our seasonal episodes.
Yep, we got seasonal. Our Halloween episode premiered just in time for Thanksgiving.
As it should, which means now is the time we have to do our Thanksgiving episode.
We talked about wacky sports.
No, that was last year.
Oh, it was 2015.
That was. Do you want me to go back and read all the things we did 2 years ago?
No. We did so many things.
I know. To be honest, there's some of these I don't even remember doing. Remember when we spent 2 whole hours talking about the ocean?
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
I don't know if we should or should not go back to that strategy of just picking the broadest topic humanly possible and just talking about it.
Episode. Whoever can listen to that episode from beginning all the way to the end,
it's got to be painful.
Should absolutely win an award.
It's got to suck.
Yes. In fact, we should have an awards show for our viewers where they get awards for
listening to us.
Watching most longest episode watched. Most time spent watching our show.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how we used to fill 2 hours with stuff.
Yeah, we would just prattle on.
Yeah, we would. Now we've run out of stuff to talk about after 2 years. That's it. Although, Matt, we had a fun. It's fun.
There's still lots of other things we haven't talked about.
Well, then let's spend a minute looking forward to 2017. What should we talk about this year?
Yeah, we should talk about
I should
things like things like
well, I still
trees, different types of trees.
Oh my God, this is how things get dangerous. Is when Matt is on the spot and he's just looking. Are you just like looking for things around the room? Stapler. We should talk about stapler. Lamp.
Well, that's how we got the gum episode. I think I was chewing gum.
Oh my God. I stand by. I want to do a Pixar episode, but like you said, I'm amazed that you're not as caught up on that as I was hoping.
Yeah, I really have to get on. The problem is, I don't think are any of them on Netflix? Like, is The Good Dinosaur on Netflix?
No,
I don't think. Yeah, see, that's where I watch.
I mean, Matt, I'll put it on the list, but we can do like we do most of the time and just judge things we don't know anything about.
Yep. That's pretty much accurately describes our show.
Ooh, you know what we should do? We should do an episode this or that style, but where we have to take two entertainers and put them against each other, and you have to pick who is better.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the origin of this show, by the way, is back when we over, under, or appropriate, right? When we used to play that. Yep. It's kind of like that. But I want to do it this or that, where it's, you know, you say, shit, now I got to think of one which isn't good. But, you know, Backstreet Boys are in sync.
That should probably be, well, the answer is in sync. But that should probably be the title of our show. Our show should just be called OUA, under,
over,
wait,
under,
what?
Or appropriate.
UOA.
Yeah, Matt, we already changed the name.
No,
once. We're not going to change it again.
I'm
going to write that down. This or that.
Oh yeah.
With famous stuff.
We could talk about dice.
All right, stop it. No more. No, not okay. Because you have to remember, you know, and we had formats going, right? Because we had the bracket format we were doing for a little while, and then we did the we used to rank stuff, which we haven't done in a while. You know, I know that's one thing we usually do on well, I say usually, we've only done one here on wrap-up episode, but did you see, because you remember, Matt, our third and fourth episodes of this show were on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I like to every year catch us up on what's new in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did you get to see either, well, we did a little bit, Civil War, Doctor Strange? I think those were the only two this year.
Right? Yeah, I think so. No, I actually never made it out for either of those.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like, put out a Star Wars movie, I'll see it, like, the night it comes out. Put out, like, Marvel, except for, like, that first wave where you had, like, the original Captain America and Iron Man, and, like, I saw all those in a timely fashion, but I just don't really care so much about the Marvel Universe.
Doctor Strange, man, was so good.
Yeah.
And Civil War is really good. It's on Netflix, Matt. There's no excuse.
Civil War is now on Netflix, yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I'll see it. I'll see it eventually. I'll get around to it. How about hobbies? Have we ever done a show about hobbies?
Well, like collecting thimbles and...
We could talk about the most interesting hobbies.
Oh, kind of like we did with instruments, where we just take weird and eclectic things and... All right. Oh, that's good.
For you viewers at home, you're actually... This is a special bonus...
Behind the scenes.
Experience. This is exactly what we do to come up with ideas for our episodes. This is what we do.
And there's a reason why we don't record it and publish it. No, that's a good one. Okay, I like that. That's good. Let's see.
Keyboards.
Once again, Matt, stop looking at things in your room. Oh my God, you're not even trying to hide it. Computer. Internet.
Sean Jennings.
Oh, we can talk about me for an episode. Gladly. That's anytime.
We should do like multi-episode arcs about things like trees, for example.
How would we do a multi-episode arc about trees, Matt?
Oh, I'm sorry, breaking up there.
Oh my God!
Oh
my God, we're so out of control.
Indeed.
Oh man, this is too dangerous.
I think hobbies is our best bet. Hobby sounds like a good episode.
Matt, I'm afraid 2016 broke us.
Yeah, it's a pretty fair assumption, I think.
That was a tough year.
What a doozy of a year.
It was a doozy of a year. But it's over.
Over appropriate.
2016? Oh,
Oak
man.
tree versus maple tree.
No, but actually no, because now you got me thinking. 2016, overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated?
Okay, 2016.
So, Let me think. That's a really good question. Because again, and that's why I always
Now,
like using the.
what we're talking about here, well, I'll just get us started off,
Yes.
is 2016, I think, is rated as, I think most people would associate it with the bizarre, the unnatural, the kind of like just unexpected. Unexpected is
Confusion.
basically the best word to describe 2016. Unexpected. Like,
Yep.
just so many unexpected things happened. Um, the countless celebrities dying, the wave of celebrities dying, the the bizarre. We had a bizarre Olympics. We had a bizarre World Series. We had a completely bizarre and out of the woodwork election. Everything was just so totally strange. I think this is the year that historians in the future will be writing the most books about of this century
Oh, it's like,
to
well,
date. I think
what is it? 64 is the year that they.
1968. I
68.
think
Yeah.
68. There's a lot of books about 68. You had a lot of things happen that year. The MLK assassination, the DNC, and naturally, I think it kind of lends itself to an election year. You know, like I think election years in and of themselves, there's the most things to talk about because the most things happen
Well, and
generally.
I never thought about it this way, but I don't know what I saw, but something made me think of it this way. An election, when you change administrations, you don't just change a president, you change an entire government. And we don't really think about it that way, but every top official, usually
Yep.
many parts of Congress, judges, you literally, every 4 to 8 years in this country, swap out an entire government. It's amazing it works at all.
Yeah, department heads, like you said, cabinet appointments,
Strategies, plans,
legislators.
rules. It's crazy. I read the other day that the new administration wants to reduce the amount of safety restrictions on ceiling fans
Oh, okay.
because apparently they're too safe.
They're too safe.
They're too safe.
No.
It's
Too
killing
safe.
our jobs,
Can't
man.
have that. I blame China.
China. Yeah,
Shit.
no. I agree.
Shit.
2016 was
Just a
was
bizarre.
unexpected, but I'm just trying to remember back to 2015's version of us and what we thought 2016 was gonna be like. Because you have to
Honestly, I wasn't expecting. I mean, if you look back, I think a perfect example of this is look back on our election episode. We were picking like the safest, most like predictable bet, Jeb. We thought it was going to be like we thought the final outcome was going to be like Jeb Bush or Chris Christie versus, Hillary Clinton,
yeah,
and
Elizabeth
who was
Warren
our
or
Joe Biden.
Yeah,
We
but
thought
Matt,
it was going to be like.
To be fair, we're pretty stupid. Like I'm not gonna say because we said it that most Americans thought that, but you're right. I mean, we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to. I just keep coming back to this. Like, when did things change? Like, what happened? Like we all agree things have changed, but no one's been able to point to me when they changed. And I feel like it's almost one of those, so, as you mentioned 68 as an example, but such a confluence of events, some taking place over a long period of time, finally concluding right around now, some being more short-term, I feel like have all conspired together accidentally to create an unexpected year.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it would be one thing. It would be one thing if we just had, a election full of mudslinging and defaming and just bizarre eccentricity altogether. But we also had, the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series, which to me sticks out as one of the most bizarre and unexpected
100%
events, happenings of the year. You had the just so many celebrities that just seemingly just passed away. And I was told that like oh, that happens every year. Celebrities die. It's just what happens. But I felt like there was maybe like an inexorbitant amount this year, or maybe it was just because they're the ones that I connected with
Well, and
that like just kind of died at an unexpected age. Because I feel like you point to someone like David Bowie. I mean, he was he wasn't young, but I don't think anybody saw him, you know, on death's door. Prince,
George
totally
Michael was
unexpected.
only in his 50s. I
George
mean,
George Michael was in his 50s. Princess Leia
sure.
at the tail end 2016. Carrie Fisher, she had just turned 60. Um, and then her mother, like 2 days later, uh, Debbie Reynolds and Professor Snape,
Rick, Alan Rickman,
Mr. Alan Rickman, Mr.
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber, villain from Die Hard. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He died he was in his 50s, mid 50s. Uh, the guy who played R2D2 died. Like, just totally
I actually hadn't heard of that one.
out of the world. Yeah. Um, Trevor Baker. Trevor Baker?
Small
Troy
dude?
Baker. Yeah.
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 I would assume so. He worked inside a trash can.
No, Kenny Baker did the voice of SpongeBob.
No, that's no. Kenny
Tom
Baker.
Kenny. Okay. Tom Kenny did the voice of SpongeBob. Kenny Baker played R2D2.
And died.
Kenny. And
Tom
died.
Kenny is still alive.
Tom Kenny is still alive, and 2016 is over, so he's safe.
He's safe. Well,
did you hear about the Kickstarter for Betty White?
No, why are they kickstarting Betty White?
So apparently a guy started a Kickstarter it was called Protect Betty White from 2016. And he started it like toward the end of the year when all these celebrities were dying off. And he started it basically, it was I think it was either a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe. I can't remember which one. But it was basically he was getting money. I think it was a GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. This makes more sense. He was trying to get people to fund a basically like building this web around Betty White. Not an actual web, but like basically like get her any medical attention she might need.
Sure, a standby nurse, a security guard,
like 24-hour doctor, yeah, security guard, medical team, like right there. And so it was basically, I guess the premise was because she's in her 90s now.
Yeah. That
2016 was going to take her next, and he wanted to do his best to protect her. Thankfully, his efforts were not in vain. Betty White was rescued from 2016.
Well,
2016's wrath.
I had a discussion with somebody at a New Year's party about this, and we were, it comes up, and we were talking about the celebrity death thing, and they said, Sean, why did so many more celebrities die this year? And I said, I challenge that assumption. I haven't seen a chart, but I don't feel any more. I don't feel the quantity was any higher. I feel we cared about the people more, and I genuinely feel, and this goes back to that theory of what changed in 2016 and when did things change. Most of the celebrities who are now dying, back when like the stars of the 30s and 40s were dying, nobody really knew who they were because they would star in 2 films for the Warner Brothers and then they would disappear into oblivion. And you say, oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember them. They were in 2 talkies and they weren't that, there were 1 or 2 who were giant famous, but for the most part, fame wasn't a thing, right? But now we start talking about these stars of the 70s and the 80s and even into the 90s where someone like Prince, who is a not only a singer but also an actor, a star of the stage, an award winner, a cultural icon. David Bowie is another great example of this. Celebrity has really began to change in those eras, in that 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the people who were famous then are going to start to get old now. And just now we're going to start to feel, when they leave, that it's going to have an impact on us in a way an older celebrity, someone alive in the 80s, would have felt when their celebrity died, because they weren't as celebrity, right? They didn't have as much of an impact in a overwhelming media environment we live in, where media is such a big part of our lives and our cultural identities, that when someone like a Prince or a David Bowie dies, you have identified with that individual so closely, it has a much larger, more noticeable impact. I think culturally is what's different about it, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I think, and I had a similar conversation with my mom about this, and yeah, no, she agreed. She was like, no more celebrities died this year than they do any year. It wasn't an unnatural amount of celebrities. It's just that you cared about a lot of the celebrities, most of the celebrities that died this year. And any other year they largely go unnoticed because, like you said, we're at that point in time where we're much more connected with them, where we feel much more connected with them than celebrities of the past. Um, but I still hold out that a lot of the celebrities that died in 2016 went kind of before their expected time.
Sure.
Like
And I think that's fair.
Alan Rickman, perfect example, mid 50s. Now, granted, he was battling cancer, but nobody knew that. Bowie also battling cancer, but also very much kept under wraps. Um, but I think that it's like it was just kind of a bizarre combination of. And then when that happened with Carrie Fisher at the end of the year, I was like, this was just like unbelievable. That this is like the tail end of 2016. It has to claim one more bit, and then George Michael on the same day as Carrie
Yeah, but
Fisher.
I wonder if part of that
So bizarre.
is that these celebrity, again, going back to the stars of the 40s and the 30s, you know, many of them after leaving acting went on to lead long normal lives and died in their 80s. But a lot of these celebrities, A, continued to be celebrities for a very long time, and B, did a lot more, shall we say, damaging things to the body while they were celebrities in the forms of drugs and alcohol and other sort of reckless, hard living. I certainly think
Yeah,
George Michael is a great example of that.
and David Bowie.
And David Bowie.
Well, and Carrie Fisher for sure.
And Prince. I mean, all these guys. I think and again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say that's the case. But again, I think it will be more common to see celebrities dying in their 60s and 70s rather than those older celebrities who died in their 80s. I think a Betty White is going to become an anomaly more so than anything to expect from our celebrities.
Yeah,
But think of it this way,
that's
Matt.
pretty
I mean,
depressing.
I know, but think of it this way. We
Um,
we lost a lot of celebrities in 2016, but think about all the celebrities who were born in 2016. Now we
think
won't.
about all the YouTube celebrities we gained.
Oh no! Can we kill them instead?
Oh, we're, we're so doomed. We're
Oh
so.
man,
You
that
know what? I have a fairly positive outlook for 2017. I think that now it's kind of set. 2016 has set the bar so low in terms of, or high, depending on how you look at it. I think 2017 will be like kind of like a more normal year. It'll be back to things as we once knew it, but also I guess a lot of the like shock value is gone now. So
I'm
I mean,
gonna.
we have a president. We're about to have a president who tweets frequently and a lot. Um, so like there's going to be a new normal for sure. A new normal.
And that's bad.
Whatever that normal is, we'll have to figure out what it's going to be.
It's
But
bad. It's not good, Matt. It's not good. We have been so desensitized, I fear, in
yeah,
20, and again, I'm going to try and be pessimistic here. That we've been so desensitized in 2016 that and again, setting that bar so dangerously low for 2017 that I think as bad things begin to pile up, we will either ignore them or accept them as a statement of fact. And I hope that's not the case. I would rather say we left, rather than saying 2017 will be a new normal set by 2016, I would rather say 2017 will be the answer to 2016, the rebuttal to 2016, the revenge of 2016 will be 2017. That is what I would like to hear. I'd like to hear we learned something. We walked away at the end of the day saying, that 2016 wasn't for nothing. That we walked away learning some good things and some bad things about ourselves. I think we learned some good things this year, man. I think we learned that even after over 100 years, you can still win a World Series. I think that was a fantastic message for all the Cleveland Browns fans. I think that's a fantastic message that you two can win. But I think we also learned that, facts have become grade and reality has become a bit unhinged, and we need to bring it in and understand multiple viewpoints and just do a better job of accepting other humans as simply that, other humans.
Yeah, we're certainly going to interesting places.
With more dangerous
in
ceiling
2017.
fans.
Yes. All I know is that you better watch out for those ceiling fans. They'll get you.
I don't know how you make them less safe.
How do
like-
you make a ceiling fan less safe?
That's what I was trying to figure.
Well, I'm looking up here as if I have a ceiling fan, but there's no fan in my room. I guess you just kind of loosen the screws a little bit,
Like in the factory, just to
just
fuck
let
with
it
them.
go.
Oh, these chumps will really like this.
Replace the actual fans with just giant swords that kind of rotate around. That'll make them way less safe.
Matt, it's the new
And impractical.
It's the new Razor's Edge fan. It cuts through the air because it has a sharpened steel blade on each fan blade.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to make the fan less safe.
This is the free
And quite frankly, I'm glad we're getting to the bottom of the real issues here. I think fans have been way too safe for many years.
It's the free market, Matt. Look, if the free market wanted a safe fan, they would have paid for it, but they didn't. So you know what?
Obviously, we got to make them unsafe.
You got to make them
Make fans unsafe
safe
again.
again. Oh, okay. Can I just say, like, my first New Year's resolution is to never use the "make something something great again" joke. Like, it's the new "thanks Obama," and I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I
would have just loved to have been a milkshake distributor during 2016. Make America milkshakes again. I think that would have been awesome.
You missed your calling.
Yeah, indeed. Make America shakes again.
Oh God. All I know is
That's what I meant.
we're gonna make Up for Debate great again.
Or a cake baker. Make America cake again. Make America bake again.
Make America bake cake again.
Make America snakes again. If you're
You know what, Matt? I'm gonna write for
like
our
a pet
27
store.
for our idea list. We need to come up with our own political campaign. Like, create a candidate and a slogan.
Make America crepes again.
Oh my God.
There were so many. I feel like so many missed opportunities for all of these small business owners.
Don't worry, Matt. They'll have plenty of chances next year. All right, Matt. Well, we're basically out of time for this evening. Is there any parting words to 2016 you'd like to share?
God damn it, 2016. You were pretty interesting year. Being the undying optimist that I guess I now am on this show.
You have to be.
I will say that in my personal life, I had a lot of successes in 2016.
Yeah, we had a big 2016.
Yeah, we did. We both moved out of our parents' basements.
Well, I temporarily moved back in, but don't judge
One of
me
us
on
is
that.
still back in,
I
but
can't
only
leave.
for now. We both. Well, I think you already had a big boy job, but I got my first big boy job in 2016.
Sure.
And I think it's all about perspective. I think life is all about perspective, and if you put 2016 in perspective, yeah, it was a heck of a year, but I think that it's over now. I'm not really sure. I'm looking at my computer screen, and it says it's 2017. Not sure if I should believe it or not. But yeah, I think that 2016, you weren't all that bad. You were just weird. You're just a little awkward. A lot of awkward.
I guess what I can say, Matt, is that as two middle-class white guys with stable jobs in healthcare, 2016 really didn't affect us very much.
Really not that bad.
No, We did okay.
Thanks,
We
2016.
and honestly, 2017 is looking up for us too. We're going to be just
Yeah.
fine. So sorry to our I know very diverse
Cue
audience.
evil laugh.
Yeah, I know. No, hey, look, 2017 is going to be great. 2017, you know, Matt, we've been doing this show for 2 years. We've been doing Don't Panic now for 4 years, if you can believe it. Game nights for a year. I don't know what 2017 is going to hold for what we do here. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a good way. I always feel we just need a little gasoline on the flame for this ship to take off. And it's just a matter of when we pour it and how much we pour on it.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. I mean, luckily, you know, we're not kept afloat by any big sponsors, or, you know, that we're not beholden to any network. We
No,
can do this at relatively low cost,
just,
and we
just,
can
out,
do
just out of
it
Sean Jennings'
for-
wallet. Other than that,
We can just do it. I mean, it's low cost for me.
yeah, you show up. No, I agree. Look,
Uh,
I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. I don't do this show to get rich, because I don't get rich, and I don't do it to get famous, because I haven't gotten famous. I do it to hang out with friends I wouldn't get to see otherwise, and the fact that we record it is just a bonus. So
Yeah. I still maintain, you know what, Sean? I still maintain, like 20 years from now, when we are old and gray, only 20 years from
yeah, I
now,
was about to say it's gonna be a rough 20 years.
maybe a little bit longer than that. I still maintain there's going to be some kind of small, like, fringe indie following for this show, and people are gonna, like, they're gonna have "Don't Panic" on T-shirts. They're gonna have
Sure.
Goldilocks Zone. They'll have Goldilocks Zone mugs, because
Oh my God!
that's the show that they
Can you
want.
imagine the fanboys,
They
like
want
the
it to be
Goldilocks Zone fanboys versus the Up for Debate fanboys, like having their which is better like debates?
I don't know about that. I think that they'll probably just go for Goldilocks Zone because it's the more indie of the two, because
That's
that was
true.
the original. It's like Friends and Insomnia Cafe. It's like the indie name for the show.
Well, you know, it's one thing,
But
and one thing
I think that's going to happen.
well, and one thing I
don't know
appreciate
why.
about this show is that it is timeless and a lot. You know, Don't Panic. We talk about very like news of the week, so it's kind of hard. But on this show, you can go back and listen. You know what we talk about, except for our election predictions, is pretty timeless. So you know, you want to talk? We talked about sandwiches. You can listen to that now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, and we'll have to bury it in a time capsule or maybe put it on a rover to Mars so future generations can listen to it.
Is that a thing people still do? Do they still do time capsules?
Absolutely.
They should.
And what's funny to me is, do you know very few time capsules work? Like most of the time, especially older ones, are getting better. But like any of the ones they open now that are between 50 and 100 years old, 90% of them fail. They crack. They let water in. They mold. Most of the stuff inside them gets destroyed. Very few of them ever worked. Hopefully, we're doing a better job now in planting them.
That's right. Water. I mean, unless your basement floods, then there's no water that can ruin our little time capsule here.
Oh, don't worry, Matt. We're in the cloud where we'll be forever.
Forever until our robot or overlords of the near future decide that we're obsolete.
Yep.
And then delete us.
But while they're doing it,
Forever.
they'll be listening to the show, and that's all we can hope for. And we hope you guys
That's
continue to join us all 2017 long. We certainly appreciate you being here the last 2 years. What little fans we have are the best fans on the planet, and it's always a fantastic pleasure, and we certainly appreciate it. We do this show sometimes live. I don't know. I got to figure out how much live we're going to keep doing because of the format of the show. But we'll do some live, but the easiest way to know if we're doing it is facebook.com/UpForDebateTV. If you like us there, your phone will buzz when we go live, and it'll tell you anytime. So I think that's the most convenient way to do it. But if you can't watch live, of course, on demand at upfordebate.tv. Go there. All the episodes that we've ever done are there, so you can get caught up for 2017. And, of course, you can subscribe, which is the best way to get when new episodes go live, because that happens randomly, too, on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, on SoundCloud, on YouTube as well. We have the video versions, which look great. You can watch on your big screen. Gosh, and of course, at Up for Debate TV on Twitter. Follow us there for updates on the show, as well as updates on the Movie League, which will continue all winter long at upfordebate.tv/movies. I will say we will be back next time with more exciting discussion content, maybe on trees, maybe on hobbies. Who knows? But it'll be 2017, and we'll be here to talk about it. So certainly on behalf of Matt, this is Sean, thanking all of you for joining us and hoping we'll see you next time for even more great discussion here on Up for Debate.
Up for Debate.
Up for Debate.